turbo's bogged in raging floodwaters.
There is a hell of a current on it. It's just pulling you like you wouldn't believe.
If he can't free his wheels from the river's muddy grip, this could be the last resting place for his $90,000 truck. It's 3:40 a.m. in Queensland.
Be careful.
Oh,
Dennis Dent is leaving early to try and stay ahead of the weather. With the wet season due to break at any time, he must complete his 1,400-kilometre run before the rain arrives. But just a few hours into the journey, his truck alerts him to a battery problem.
the lights start flickering, that means it's not charging, you know?
It's a bad start to a long trip. The alternator is a crucial part of the truck's electrical system.
Supplies the power for the lights and the battery.
If Dennis can't fix it, it could end his trip.
Bloody batteries are dead flat, you won't be able to start.
He's hoping the fault is just mud on his alternator brushes, which help charge the truck's battery. He needs to quickly find a replacement. It's early days, but already the whole trip hangs on one tiny spare part.
Looks like I'll fix the problem.
With the truck back to full health, Dennis can push on. Soon, the road to Cape York is ahead. With the wet season due, it's one-way traffic, apart from Dennis.
Blowing the mud, mate. It's always the same, always the luck. There you go.
If the rains arrive, Dennis risks getting stranded.
When the wet comes on these roads, it just deteriorates so quickly.
Information about what's ahead is priceless. Out of phone range, Dennis is relying on his fellow truckers.
Other truck drivers coming down tell you about the bad spots or what's happening.
And the news isn't good.
There's rain there yesterday, storm, and a weeper there yesterday, but all right.
Getting a bit of rain up there, and what about down the track?
Halfway through a vital report, the radio's out of range. Dennis is heading into the unknown.
Did it keep it away from the rocks so the rocks don't slice the tyres? You've got to get the revs right, the gear right, got to time it to perfection.
Hit the steep drops too slowly and he'll get bogged going up the other side. Too fast and he risks serious damage to his truck.
You don't want to slam him down in the creek.
The final river crossing is the steepest.
Always worry about this crossing.
Dennis has been bogged here before.
I've been stuck on it for a long time. But, you know, many trips as you do in here, you always worry about it. Make your heart pump.
Finally through the worst, Dennis's first delivery is just ahead in Lockhart River. Thanks to him, contractor Steve Spencer can continue building work all year round.
Well, come the wet season, the roads are closed.
We rely on them. It's what we need to get gear up here. We're batching concrete flat out, so without the powder, there's no building going on throughout the wet. We'll probably get an arvo storm and hopefully it doesn't mess the road up too much.
With a storm forecast for later, Dennis's work is far from over. For the return journey, he's picking up 2 20-ton steamrollers. It's a simple job, or at least it should be.
It's dead.
He's out of phone range and running out of patience.
This happens all the time in the bush. They don't give a they don't come out to help you load the
Things are going from bad to worse. He's been given the wrong key. With an afternoon storm on the way, Dennis needs to get moving. Time to go back to basics.
instruction manual.
Hopefully, a little mechanical nous will sort it.
All right. Now we got action.
Fully loaded, Dennis is hauling nearly 60 tonnes. When the rain comes, these roads can turn into muddy bogs. But the dry, dusty soil can be just as slippery. Hauling a heavy load up a series of steep hills is a recipe for getting dry bog.
Lose traction, wheel starts spinning, that's the end of it.
But it's Dennis's only way out. Ahead is the steepest of the bunch. He's been stuck here before. To get up it, Dennis must get the power down. And fight the road for every metre. Hauling 60 tonnes of dead weight.
Spinning.
He needs to get out fast
What a day.
before any rain can turn dust to mud. He's in luck. 2 empty mining trucks have arrived. If they can get ahead of Dennis, they should be able to tow him out.
It's a steep little hill that's passed.
The hills claimed another victim. And now, the road's completely blocked.
And this is steep here and it's loose.
Daylight's fading fast and rain's due. The stranded trucks must get out before dark. A passing 4-wheel drive volunteers to help. It's up to a 2.5-ton car to haul a 30-ton road train free. It's a long shot,
Righto, go. Go.
but their only chance.
No. No, mate. Go up and take the slack up on the train.
The empty mine truck has made it. But with 60 tonnes on board, pulling Dennis out will be a heavyweight battle.
Just don't stand too close because if this chain snaps, it'll cut your head off.
The high-tension line has to pull 60 tonnes.
steady. A little bit more gravel.
But it's just too much.
I broke the chain, mate.
It's a disaster. The rain is imminent. Dennis needs to give the chain one more try, or risk his truck getting stranded here for months.
Here you go.
Together, the three truckers have made it. Finally, Dennis is heading home.
Enjoy your trip, mate.
It'll be better when we get the out here.
He's risked the weather, battled the mud and the dust in some of the toughest wilderness in Australia. But out here is where Outback legends are made. Gordo and Shu have hit a flooded 500-metre stretch of highway.
Freaking slow.
That could be safe to cross, or an accident waiting to happen.
Oh, he's just hit a hole. F***ing hole there.
We're coming at the Kenworth there.
Got you, buddy?
Yeah, just a quarter way long there. You've probably seen me rock side by side. There's a great big hole there. On the way down, half of your side's washed out.
No worries. Thanks a lot, buddy. You have a safe one.
Okay, cheers. Thanks for waiting.
No worries. Okay. Let's go. And we've got to go over this side. So over this way, you reckon, Gordo?
Shu has to try to avoid the holes where the road has been washed out. But if she drives too close to the edge of the bitumen, she risks ending up in the river.
He was just about here and he went down a hole. Yeah.
There's usually ripples in the water where there's a hole, you know. That's rushing across and you'll see that there will sometimes be a big ripple and other times be a small one. In this way a bit.
All right.
So you could have said, well, you'll get right over there.
Yeah, I know, but...
Get over here.
Okay, I'm coming back over, Gordo, but the f***ing holes.
Otherwise you'll be bogged.
All right. I was trying to avoid the holes.
Come back this way a bit. You're getting over too far.
I know, but there's a holes here.
Yeah, but you want to fall out in there. I'd rather go into the hole than fall out in there.
All right, all right, all right.
I'll get dressed.
They arrive at their destination, the mining town of Newman, just as it's being savaged by the fringes of the cyclone. Their job of dropping off trailers and hooking up new ones just got more stressful.
That way! That's the way my f***ing thumbs goes. That's the way you gotta go! Jesus!
Stand right from the dolly, so I can't see. Hang on to that. I told you before, don't stand in front of the dolly, so I can see where I'm going.
I'll tell you where to go.
They need an address for another trailer pickup from the depot. but it's deserted.
I knew it. I knew he wouldn't remember the address, and there's no address on here.
Shu and Gordo are at breaking point.
We're not running around with the trailer on the back trying to find another depot. You can't run around with a trailer.
Hey, listen, I've got a bloody good idea where it is, so look, stop bloody...
Gordo thinks he knows where the other trailer is. He'd better be right. This storm could close the road they came in on, and they could be stuck up here for weeks.
Well, it's a short line, isn't it? So this is 3275.
Yeah.
It's pitch black, and they need to find the new location quickly.
Way up there.
Okay, back up. Okay.
Is there a time you eat your meal? What is the time? 1 o'clock, 12:30? There you go. Dinner.
It's early morning, and after driving over 1,000 kilometres to get here, they're ready to turn around and do it all over again. But they're barely out of town when there's more bad news.
Here for the night. If the road's closed.
I'm going to have to get off the road. Pardon?
I said, I don't know where you're going to go.
Neither do
Unless
I.
you pull up behind that one up there.
Well, we're stuck. We can't go anywhere. We have to wait till the road opens. We're at Newman. We're at beautiful downtown Newman at Capricorn Roadhouse. And we've been here since 2 o'clock this morning, and it is now, what is the time? It is now 9:15, and the road is still closed. And the facilities up here are A1. Believe you me. There's nothing open, nothing at all.
All Gordo and Shu can do is sit it out. There's only one highway back to Perth, and it's still underwater.
That's it. Once you've lost a day, you've lost a day. There's nothing else you can do. You just got to try and get around it as best as you can.
Oh, guess what, fellas? The road's open. Well, I run over the sign.
After a long night, it's a relief to be back on the road. After months of being cut off, there's a break in the weather. Roads have reopened, and Jason's clients are desperate for his fuel.
This time of the year is like playing Russian roulette when you're trying to get fuel into people in the bush, because the weather can change in 5 minutes.
Jason will be the first road train to attempt the run this year, but he knows his window of opportunity could close fast.
You don't have time to muck around this time of the year. You sort of want to get in, get your job done and get back out onto the bitumen.
With 93,000 litres of diesel on board, enough to fill 1,500 cars.
Everything's good to go.
Jason needs to get moving. One thunderstorm and this diesel Mercy Dash could be delayed for weeks. just a few kilometres outside of town. Gridlock.
There's a fair few pulled up here, so something obviously drastic has happened. All we can see from here is something's rolled over onto the left-hand side, the table drain, and they've got tarps up. Really can't see nothing. I don't want to walk down there and have a look either. We've had a delay now, so all we can do is, just keep trucking along and just see what the rest of the day brings us now. There's no such thing as making up time.
After a day and a half of solid driving, Jason's reached the start of the dirt.
There's been no road trains on this dirt road this year.
He's the first out here. For 53 metres of road train, this is uncharted territory.
Even though we've got dust still blowing up behind us, underneath it's still moist. We should be fine as long as you don't break through.
But up ahead, a damaged section where another vehicle has broken through.
Got a little bit of a dark section up here on the road. It could be a bit of a wet spot.
Slow down now and Jason risks getting bogged. Time to floor it.
As long as you keep your momentum going. It's fairly cut up coming through there, and it was still a bit damp underneath. You can feel the truck sort of half sinking all the time.
He's made it to his first fuel drop. Urandangi, population 60.
There's a bit of relief there.
Next crucial
How are you
job,
going? I'll just put Jason on for you.
getting word from a station manager on the condition of the road ahead.
Is that road open or closed over that way? Yeah, the only thing is if I get bogged in this other bog hole over here, I've got nothing to pull me out. I'll give you a call before I leave here.
Excellent, mate. Thank you.
Righto, Ryan. Bye, mate. Bye.
What's the river doing?
It's at 0.8.
Hell, you won't get through there.
No, not today, but no, he's talking.
It's not the news he wanted. The way forward is blocked by nearly a metre of water flowing over the road.
If I get stuck in there, there's nothing really to pull me out. I'm sort of on my own. The truck's too busy to get with a shovel.
We're just coming up to the end of the bitumen on the Donahue Highway. Say goodbye to our hard black stuff and pull over to the different coloured rough stuff.
He's on the dirt, and for the first time in 3 days, there's not a cloud in the sky. Jason can start thinking about offloading some fuel.
The first delivery we'll do will probably be about 6 hours' time.
But just as he's settling into a long, straight drive,
Yeah, got you, buddy.
news from a council worker.
Yeah, the river's 600 over up there, mate.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, mate.
Over half a metre of water on the road ahead. Too much for his truck to power through.
This is what I said back there, mate. I said it's fucking still over, mate.
Yeah.
Because I've been up here every day looking at it, mate. And
Oh, yeah?
it's not dropping fast. I nearly got caught up here the other day. I'll be back up in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'll check it out again in the morning. I want to go across before you fellas go across it.
Jason's only option, wait some more. Next morning, and the water levels have dropped. Jason wants to go, but the council arrive, having checked the crossing.
He's here now, so we'll see what the verdict is. It's below 0.4.
It's touch and go.
He's leaving it up to my call to go through. So yeah, no, we'll give it a go.
Jason's backing himself to make it across.
Feels a little bit soft, but hopefully we'll be okay if we just go into it steady and don't do anything silly.
It's critical he hits it with enough speed. Too slow, and he could get stuck. On
See, all this water up here is from fucking people racing through here fast in cars, carting the water up the fucking bank. But I come through too slow. I come through with a bit more pace.
After a frustrating hour, a local station owner arrives with some serious pulling power. Jason's relying on the stiff bar to hitch up to the grader. There's just one problem. It doesn't fit.
I got a chain there.
How big a chain?
Not big at all, and far from ideal for pulling 130 tonnes of bogged road train. If it snaps, Jason will have run out of options. And at last, it's all clear ahead.
Everything's open the way we want to go.
Finally, he's made it. Long-haul specialist Turbo has his eyes on the skies.
Storm clouds there. That's the snot I'm heading into.
The 47-year-old is on a time-critical mission, delivering a load of building materials into the heart of the world-renowned Kakadu National Park.
Jabiru is smack bang centre of Kakadu National Park.
In Australia's torrid tropical north, the rainy season's in high gear. This is a time when most truckers are escaping the big wet. But Turbo's heading into the eye of the storm.
Because it's the wet season and it's flooding, weather radar is now saying that there's also a cyclone coming. Fingers, arms and legs crossed, I'm going to get through.
It's a journey more than twice the width of Texas, and Turbo needs to do it in 3 days. His 9 tonnes of freight is urgently needed to build a medical centre. Something Turbo could do with right now. He's nursing a badly bruised arm.
It was caused from getting tangled up with the chain.
On this trip, Turbo will need all his strength. Ahead are flooded rivers and closed roads.
Yes, it does make me nervous, where I can be trapped between 2 river crossings or 2 creek crossings, and that's a place you don't want to be because nobody can get to you.
With a small transport business to keep afloat, getting marooned on this voyage could leave Turbo's business high and dry. After 16 hours on the road, he's reached the Northern Territory border. But the news isn't good. The main road to Jabiru is blocked. He has no choice but to try a different, more hazardous route. The dirt track of the remote Tablelands Highway.
It's a very risky chance I'm taking. My life and my rig.
Just a few kilometres in, and his first hurdle. A small creek, now a fast-flowing river.
Yeah, it's flooded. So I'm going to suss it out.
In Australia's tropical north, getting even close to the water's edge can be dangerous.
Croc infested. Little croc right there. That's what it looks like. Is it or isn't it? Nah, it's a log.
While this croc is not, the threat remains. Time to grin and bear it. Using himself as a human dipstick, Turbo wants to check the water depth. But this road is definitely slippery when wet.
The current was that strong, I had trouble standing up. I got to turn around. That's all I can do.
Most truckers would admit defeat, but not Turbo. He's got one last trick up his sleeve.
Let's see what it's like if I reverse through.
Crossing the surging water backwards.
My trailer's 15 metres behind me, so if my trailer goes underwater, that's my gauge. That tells me what's happening before I put the truck at risk.
This time, it's his trailer that's the dipstick. This way, Turbo hopes to protect his truck's engine.
Look at the back of the trailer.
But get this wrong, and he could lose his load and his truck.
I'm trying to get a gauge of how deep. It's about 1 metre deep here. But I'm trying to get myself up on hard stuff. Yeah, no, we're not doing it. It's just not worth it.
Turbo needs to get out before he drowns his engine. But something's wrong.
Literally bogged in silt.
At times like this, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. His engine screaming.
Fan belts. Water's up over the motor, like through the bottom of the pulleys.
One final push.
That was the water level.
He may have failed to cross this river, but Turbo won't be defeated. He heads back to the main highway and hopes to find a way through.
I'm going to have to take the chances. That's 50% chance it's open or a 50% chance it's closed.
The further Turbo drives, the worse the flooding becomes. And now, there's a problem with his truck.
I reckon I've snapped an alternator belt. Damn. That is not good at all.
Under the bonnet, his worst fears are confirmed. The fan belt snapped.
Bit of shit would have flown up with the water and got jammed in it.
Without a fan belt to help cool the engine, it could overheat and blow up.
I run a risk in $100,000 worth of damage. It's got to be fixed before I go anywhere. And I don't have a spare.
The closest town is 200 kilometres away. If he can't get there, he won't be able to deliver his load, losing him thousands of dollars in business.
Can only hold me fingers.
But help is at hand. Turbo hitches a ride.
From Barkley to Tennant Creek.
And in Tennant Creek, he finds his holy grail.
New fan belt. That's the old one. Here's the new one. Now I've got to find a ride back. 200 k's.
Back at his truck, the repair has cost Turbo time and money. He's more than a day behind schedule, and if he's not careful, the weather could cost him a lot more.
I've got to get out of here before this friggin' rain hits. belt's fixed. It's done. We can get out of here now. There are 2 cyclones, one on either side of me, that are going to converge. That's going to absolutely inundate this place. Now the pressure is really on to get to Jabiru, get this freight off, and get out of there as quick as I can.
His client's waiting, but the weather's not.
Water over the road. And yet the funny thing is, I was told, roads are open, there's nothing wrong with the roads. Yeah, right.
This time, Turbo isn't stopping. He's overdue and wants to get this load through.
I would very, very strongly say if you did not know the road at all, don't even attempt it.
Such a massive body of water moving fast could have washed the road away.
I don't know exactly what the road is like underneath. It could be washed out completely.
While he's made it onto solid ground, the sky ahead looks ominous.
Straight over there, big black rain cell. 30, 40 minutes of a constant downpour. Floodways are going to just about be impossible to pass.
But Turbo's finally beaten the floods and made it back to civilization. Now, it's smooth sailing to his destination.
Turning on the Kakadu Highway.
He's nearly 2 days late, but on this trip, Turbo's had a torrid time.
I've had floodwaters, rivers over roads, and stat fan belts.
But he's made it.
Here it is.
It's all in a day's work for this Outback trucker.